Hey, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be talking about that new Drake album, Certified Lover Boy, dropped about a week ago or so. Listened to it maybe two or three times so far, uh, just because I wanted to get like a thorough listening of it before I could offer any type of, substantial opinion. This album's got a total of 21 songs. And without further ado, I'm just going to jump right into it. Starting off with track number one, Champagne Poetry. Right off the bat, I noticed the minimalist instrumental, classic bars from Drake, or the fashion of his delivery reminded me of classic Drake. Honestly, it brought a smile to my face. I feel like both halves of this song, or at least like the first section and the second section, I honestly think they could have been their own songs. For me, it felt kind of weird to have them together, but I guess they come together in some way. So I just would have preferred to have them as their own songs. But anyway, I think this kind of decreased the replay value for me, at least, for the intro, in my opinion. I think this was a really reflective opening to the album. Kind of through. I didn't really have many expectations jumping into it, but I think that the intro on this one, on this song, as the intro song, kind of threw my expectations out the window, whatever those expectations may have been. One other thing that I consider noteworthy were the minimal drums towards the end of the song, like the beat pattern that they had was really cool. That snare, I can remember it so distinctively because it's so cool. I wish we could have heard more of that. Um, the, but other than that, it's okay. Also, the sample that was used during the first section of the song, I found it a bit distracting, but overall, a decent song. Moving on to track number two, Poppy's Home. Honestly, I felt like we had some slightly corny bars from Drake off rip. The instrumental is decent. I found the sample to be beautiful. We also had a brief cameo from Nicki Minaj. It's really brief. But overall, kind of a forgettable song for me. Moving on to track number three, Girls Want Girls. Honestly, Melodyne was putting in some work on this one. I think the Lil Baby feature saved this song for me from the bars that he usually brings to his features. Really solid artist to have come on as a featuring artist. To the processing of his vocals, I think I just prefer the timbre of his voice over to that of Drake's on this particular song. In terms of the production and the instrumental, you've got that classic airy and spacious production that we've come to know Drake for since, I guess, his Take Care days. But it felt a lot more minimal and doubled down and stripped back. Honestly, though, listening to this song, the only thing that sticks out to me, Drake is like 46, calling himself a lesbian. Anyway, track number four, In the Bible. The Giveon and Lil Durk features on this song were honestly more interesting to me than Drake's own verse and vocal delivery. I've been listening to Drake for a while now, so I'm not a huge fan when it feels like he's talking down on somebody. I get where he's coming from, but it's kind of played out to me. The production was honestly boring, and the hook wasn't strong enough for me. But again, those features from both Lil Durk and Giveon in particular, I think make the song worth the listen. But I don't know how many times I'll be coming back to this one, to be honest. Track number five, Love All. The hook is decent, but not memorable enough for me. I think the verses that we got from both Drake and Jay-Z are pretty solid, but I just think the instrumental was way too minimal for me to want to come back to it. Track number six, Fair Trade. I really like Drake's flow on this one, and his wordplay stood out to me. His voice sounds better when he adds melodies to his raps. That's kind of what I go to Drake for, and I think that that's Drake at his finest. And I love the snare that was used in this song. In terms of the Travis feature, I think that his mumbly vocals were really cool. And he switches it up, so it's not mumbly the whole time. So he switches it up right at the right time. I think this was a strong feature from Travis, arguably, in my opinion, debatably, probably the best one from him this year so far. The instrumental was solid on its own, minimal, but I still felt some classic Drake coming out on this one, which I'm never gonna say no to. The sample used on this song is really beautiful, and it hits especially hard towards the end of the song. And this one's easily going to be on steady rotation. No doubt this one's going to be a hit. And we're definitely going to be coming back to this one for a while. Moving on to track number 7, Way Too Sexy. The instrumental's cool. I'm not a huge fan of the hook used on this song, but it's functional and simple enough that it makes the song memorable. I mean, I'm already seeing captions used quoting this song often, and it's been a week, so there's that. We've got Young Thug and Future as the featured artists on this song. Future's the one performing the hook, and I think the song's replay value would have been elevated by a lot more if they had Young Thug maybe perform the hook or perform the hook together with Future. I think Future's voice on its own for the hook, it's not strong enough for me. But I enjoyed the features from both of them. What else? I don't know. I mean, it's a really fun song. I'll come back to. It makes me feel like that. I like it. It's really catchy. It's really simple to get into, and the production itself is really synthy, and it samples. The samples are pretty catchy as well. So this one is definitely gonna be another one of those big hitters from this album. Moving on, track number 8, TSU. I don't remember. I've heard this song before, and I can't remember where. But to me, it's really vanilla. It's. I'm not too big on it. I wasn't big on it the first time I heard it, and coming back to it, it didn't really change my opinion on the song. I think that if the first half of the song had been cut, and we just had the last leg of the song as just the song, I think that it would have been a better track overall. But for whatever reason, we got what we got, and I'm not a huge fan of it. But moving on to track number 9, Into Deep. I really love that the guitar, the electric guitar, it was thick, really thick, and I like that. The vocals are turned up. They're turned up really loudly on this one, so it was kind of overwhelming at first. And I needed the drums to go way harder at the beginning than they did, so it didn't really meet my expectations at first. Whenever the beat drop came, though, I was happy with the drums there. I get it. Especially I love the reverb and the overdubbing used on Drake's vocals towards the later half of the song. You don't need a lot to make his vocals sound better, so I really like that they did what they did on the hook here. The hook was a lot stronger here, and Future's verse was passable. It does what it needs to do. Moving on to track number 10, Pipe Down. The beat is really smooth. Here, I really love the bass on the instrumental. Strings are luscious, and the vocal samples on this one make the song feel luxurious. I really felt this one on a personal level. Moving on to 11, track number 11, I guess consider it more of an interlude. Yeba's Heartbreak, it's a beautiful interlude. That's all I gotta say. Track number 12, No Friends in the Industry. Drake's vocals were really weird on this song. Like, I don't know what they did exactly, but to me it sounded like his vocals were pitched up so that they would sound like it sounds like they've been time stretched maybe to fit the tempo of the song better. It feels weird to me, though. It doesn't feel right. It's kind of strange to hear. It also felt like Drake himself was experimenting with different inflections on this song, which was interesting to hear. The instrumental on its own, though, I enjoyed it a lot. Very synthy and smooth, and it's really cool. Track number 13, Knife Talk. I don't know. I didn't really have any thoughts on this one. I think this is the song 21 Savage was on. It's cool. Sample was cool at the beginning. But honestly, I don't know. It didn't really resonate with me. I just enjoyed it while it lasted. It's a pretty cool song. Track number 14 is 7 a.m. on a Bridled Path. We get nothing but bars from Drake on this one. And despite that huge pop sound that we've been hearing from Drake for the last couple of years, he always comes through with the lyricism when he needs to. So that was cool. I enjoyed this one. Track number 15, Brace My Mind. I think this song was kind of refreshing. I think there was a lot of luscious strings and harp samples that kind of changed the vibe of the album a little bit. For me at this point, I think the vocal performance with Drake on this song was solid as well. The instrumental, it was beautiful, and it felt like Drake went all in on this song. And for me, this one was a highlight for sure. Track number 16, Fountains. Got a nice groove. Caribbean Drake makes an appearance. Solid vocals, and the hook wasn't bad. Track number 17, Get Along Better. We got R&B Drake coming through, and he was coming out strong. And I would like for this style of his music to make more of a prominent appearance, but it is what it is. Track number 18, You Only Live Twice. I think there was a lot of stellar production on this song. Beautiful sampling, and the synths go crazy, for sure. The verses from Rick Ross and Lil Wayne let me know that they both still got it, and they're not going to be going anywhere anytime soon. And I'm happy to always hear a verse from either of them, especially Wayne. I'm a big Wayne fan. Track number 19, I Miss You Too. I never thought I'd see Drake and Kid Cudi on a song together. I remember they had some beef a couple years ago, and I just wasn't expecting to ever hear them collaborate in any kind of way. But yet, here I am, enjoying every second of it. Thought it was cool. Good stuff. And track number 20, Fucking Fans. I get a lot of... We get a peek at the tumultuous lifestyle that Drake's probably been living for a while, and I feel it. It just felt like a lot of that classic reflective and emotional type of bars coming back from Drake that I've always turned to him for. So I don't know. It was almost like comfort food. Like I've been there before, and I felt like it was cool to hear some of that coming back. The last track on the album, track 21, The Remorse. Those classic muted drums or muffled drums, whatever you want to call them, from Drake, will always hit in a Drake song. And here they are making another appearance. From Drake himself, we get a lot of bars and beautiful sample choices for the instrumental. That's all I got to say about it. Overall, I've been hearing a lot of mixed reviews for this album, and I kind of wanted to listen to it in full so that I could form my own opinion. And to be honest, I feel like this album was Drake taking a step in a better direction. His last two albums, I believe Scorpion and maybe it was More Life that came out before that, they didn't really stand out to me, to be honest. And going into this album, as I mentioned, I didn't really have any expectations for it. I've enjoyed his music for a long time. We kind of grew up with him, to be fair. So he's always had a very large presence in the soundscape and the pop sound over the last decade or so. And I feel like for a long time, Drake's he hasn't fallen off, but I feel like he hasn't been trying as hard as he used to. That hunger that he used to have in his early days, I'm not feeling it. I haven't been feeling it for a while, so I think the music is reflecting that. But I think there were some cuts on this album that, show that he still wants to make sure that, he's still present. You're gonna know that he's present. And I would like to see. I don't know if this is gonna be his last album or if he's gonna put something else out in the future. He probably will. So whatever he does put out, I just hope that we get a little bit more refreshing stuff. His last two records felt like it was just kind of more of the same. And I don't say that from like a perspective of, I've heard one song, one single, the lead single from the album, so the whole thing must sound the same. I take my time and listen to it, and I feel like a lot of it just isn't hitting like it used to. So whatever he puts out next, I hope it's more of the highlights that I felt on this current record. So overall, I thought it was an okay album, kind of a mixed bag. So, but I haven't heard a single song on here that I thought was terrible. Overall, at least okay songs and some really great ones. So, yeah. If you've watched this far, I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to hear me talk about Drake and Certified Lover Boy. And if you've got any music that you want me to check out, feel free to send me a message or, do whatever you got to do. I'm always looking for some new music, and I've had friends that have begun to share music that I've never heard before, and that's cool. I want more of that. So, just let me know. Appreciate it, and I hope you're having a great day. Thank you.